Hola clase. Just as a disclaimer for this video, we are in study hall right now, so if you hear any random noises, then that is my study hall kids. We are going to be working with AR verb conjugations right now. Alright, so recuerdas que, or remember that, we need to remember what conjugation is. So what is conjugation? Conjugation is just changing, it is changing a verb to match your subject. So it is changing a verb to match your subject. Why do we need to conjugate a verb? We need to conjugate a verb so that our sentence makes sense. All right, so that the sentence makes sense. Like we learned with ser before, ser equals to be. Ser means to be. So I can't say I to be smart in English. That doesn't make sense. So I have to say I am smart. We are conjugating that. We are conjugating that verb to be into I am. All right, so that's why we need to conjugate in order for sentences to make sense. There are three different types of verbs in Spanish. There are AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. We're just going to be focusing on AR verbs right now, just with AR verbs for this entire quarter, actually. So AR verbs are verbs that end in AR. So for example, hablar, it ends in an AR, so therefore it is an AR verb. Estudiar, that is an AR verb because it ends in AR. There are three easy steps for conjugating a regular verb in Spanish. So those three easy steps, step one, we are going to identify the subject. We're going to identify the subject. We're going to learn who we are talking about. Step number two, you're going to drop the AR. You're going to drop the ending of your verb. So this estudiar, this hablar, you're going to drop the AR. And then you are going to add your ending. Add the correct ending to match the subject. All right. So this probably isn't making a ton of sense right now, but we are going to do some practice in order to help it make sense. So, for our AR verb endings, we have O. I'm just putting this dash right here to signify that there are letters that come before it. This is just the ending. So we have O, as, for the tu form. We have a, amos, ice, and an. Clase, repite. O, as, a, amos, ice, an. All right, now we are going to go down here in order to practice. So right now this says yo practicar. That means I to practice. Now does that make sense in English? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense in Spanish either to say I to practice. We have to conjugate this verb in order for it to make sense. Now, step number one, we need to identify the subject. Who is our subject? Who am I talking about? Yo is my subject. I'm putting that S right there to signify that that is the subject. Our verb is what ends in AR, so that is our verb. So, I've identified the subject. Check. Now I need to drop the AR from my verb. So I'm going to pull this yo right over there. I'm going to drop my AR. So I'm going to write every single letter in practicar except for the AR. So I'm going to have yo practica. Yo practic. Yo practic. Now, I need to add my ending. Now, yo, that is in my subject pronoun chart in box number 1. So I need to look in box number 1 for my AR verb endings for them to match. right? I can't say yo practica because that means he practices. Does that make sense in English? No, it doesn't. So it doesn't make sense in Spanish either. I have to say I practice. Yo practico with that O ending from box number 1. Número 2. We have ellas estudiar. Now I need to identify my subject. My subject is ellas. Now my verb is the thing that ends in AR. That is my verb. So I'm going to pull my subject right over here. I'm not going to change my subject. I can't change my subject. I'm going to drop my AR from estudiar. So I have estudi, everything except for the AR. Now, ellas, what box is that in? Well, it's not in the I box, not in the you box, not in the he, she, it box, not in the we box, in the ellas box, in the they box. That's what it's in. So that is going to be box number 6. So I need to look in box number 6 for my ending. So we have ellas estudian. All right, what I want you to do right now, I want you to pause this video, try number 3 and 4 on your own, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go over our answers. So pause the video at this time. All right, now, with number 3, we have nosotros necesita. We need to add our ending. Our ending is in the nosotros box. So what box is nosotros in? Box número 4, box number 4. So I'm going to add an amos ending. Número 4, tú. What box is tú in? Tú is in box number 2. So I need to add an as ending. All right, now flip your paper over. We are going to work on conjugating 2 verbs. We're going to conjugate estudiar and hablar. We're going to conjugate estudiar and hablar. Remember this for your entrance quiz tomorrow, that estudiar means to study, and hablar means to talk. I'm telling you right now, that is going to be on your entrance quiz tomorrow. All right, so you need to know that estudiar means to study, and hablar means to talk. So how you conjugate? Well, in box number 1, this is our yo box, remember, our yo box. So we are going to identify our subject, which is going to be yo, from our subject pronoun chart. We are going to drop our AR, and then we are going to add our appropriate ending from the previous page. So in the yo box, we are going to add our O ending. So I'm going to add an O right there, yo estudio. Now pause the video at this time, go through and do each box for estudiar and each box for hablar. Unpause the video when you are ready and check your answers. All right, here are your answers. So, repitan, clase. We have estudio, estudias, estudia, estudiamos, estudiáis, estudian. Remember, that means to study. For hablar, we have hablo, hablas, Habla. Remember the H is silent. We aren't saying habla. We're saying habla. Hablamos. Habláis. Hablan. All right, so you are now done with your homework. Good job, you guys. If you have any questions, please ask me tomorrow during class. Gracias. Oh, and we were going to do a pan of my study hall. So everybody smile.